This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time, presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hi, he's Enzo.
And she's Claire.
And this is Too Long for a Voice Note. Hey everyone!
Hi guys, welcome back. How are you, Claire? How are you guys? How's everybody listening on the other side?
How was your week?
It was decent week. You're like, it was an okay week. I think this week was a bit like, I don't know if it's only us,
flat,
but it was a bit flat.
We were a bit moody this week, weren't we? Yeah. Complaining on the WhatsApp all the time.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of, it was very low, slow,
weather,
grey,
kind of
rainy week.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's been a...
Well, something big happened that I do want to discuss.
Yes, what happened, Claire?
Bennifer is back on. For those of you that don't know, okay. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
Bennifer.
We were shocked by this. I think Enzo and I are overly invested in J-Lo's life.
Do you think they're actually back?
I think
for
they're...
real. I mean, she deserves it. I think he deserves it as well. He seems a bit sad sometimes, so I think he deserves some...
I think J-Lo's on the rebound.
J-Lo from the blog love kind of thing.
It's cute though, right? Because they broke up 17 years ago.
It's crazy.
And now they're clearly...
I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, always listen like J-Lo talking very good of him. Like, you know, we didn't work because, you know, the media and everything back. They were very young. So it would be cool if they're actually... I mean, Bennifer, that would be like such a plot twist.
They were such a huge celebrity couple.
Yeah,
I think, we were a bit young first time around.
I wonder if they're actually together. I mean, because in theory they've been friends for so long, so...
I know. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you want to rebound, you could rebound with a friend, but it could be really bad.
And if your friend is Jennifer Lopez or Ben Affleck, it's like
exactly.
Go for it. Go for that rebound.
Crazy, but
right?
yeah, that was big in the news this week. That was
big this week. Yeah. This week also I think randomly I know a lot of people that are getting vaccinated this week, and it's kind of
because it's coming into our age bracket now, isn't it? So our friends.
I think we're it's your age bracket. It's not mine. No, yeah, like I have a few friends already that are getting vaccinated, and then our friend Rodrigo, he's getting vaccinated like tomorrow, so it's like getting closer, which is really good. Kind of, I think we're moving forward this, and I have many more people around me like getting vaccinated.
It'll be out soon.
Soon, yeah, probably like crazy. I don't know, beginning of next month or something, right?
Probably.
So guys, I think we don't want to push anything, but I think if you have the possibility, you should get vaccinated. You know,
your choice, of course.
Of course, your choice, but it's like, you know,
I want to go on a motherfucking holiday.
I know how we're gonna end this. Like, it's time, you know, like wow. So that's exciting from the week. I mean, it's not been much. I mean, well, Bennifer and the vaccines is a lot of stuff.
You take what you can get in this time, and obviously in the UK we'll be getting a bit more open on Monday, so we'll see how things go.
That's cool though.
I think we can eat dinner. We can eat in a restaurant inside
a restaurant, which
will be nice because obviously we've all been freezing our butts off outside.
Because in London.
Now we can move inside.
I guess it's interesting that we're really back on full on like normal life in a way. I think also they're removing the masks in theory soon. I don't know if I will be comfortable not wearing a mask for a long time.
Like in shops and stuff.
It's only on public transport you need to use the mask. Which is a weird rule. I guess because you are sitting for a long time in the same place.
Yeah,
so
completely.
So in a shop you get in and out, but it's like it's in everything or nothing kind of, I guess. But let's see.
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. So
before we get into it, as always, please do remember to like this. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Leave us a review.
Subscribe. We're so close to 100 subscribers finally. And also like remember to check our Instagram because every week almost every day we're bombarding you with stuff there, and we share a lot of interesting content, also things that are related about the topics. If we speak about, I don't know, potatoes this week, we're gonna share information about potatoes on our stories kind of thing. We like to keep the theme as well, keep relevant to whatever is our episode about, so please check our Instagram as well
and stay connected with us. But with that being said, who is going first this week?
I'm going first, right? So this is time for Enzo's secret topic of the week. So love, this week I want to talk about a topic that I think we can chat about it a bit. It's about like plastic surgery and like cosmetic surgery, but on the celebrity let's say war, and how that affects or has an impact on society, or like let's say everybody, or like regular people is a weird word, but I think the conversation started because we react actually to Anita's video 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Anita's like a Brazilian artist. You can check our reaction as well if you want to.
I'll leave a link in the cards now.
Yes. The cool thing about Anita, and I think it's a really interesting thing because she's from Brazil, and Brazil, you know, is a culture very related to like plastic surgery, blah, 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 blah. But she's always been very open about the plastic surgeries she has on her body. Like she's open about, she changed the shape of her face, her nose, this and that. And she always is very, open and frontal about this because she feels it's important to tell people the truth, and it's important to people to understand that this is not it's not reality, but it's something that she decided to do and she paid for it. And it's not like she looks like that naturally, let's say. So for her, it's always been like her way of expressing herself as well. It's like, you know, I'm looking like this because I choose to. And it's important to remember that this is not just happens, and you don't have to. The thing is, she feels that you don't have to putting her on some pedestal or follow her. It's like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I wanted to be like her. And she's like, yeah, you want to be like me, but me, this is not natural. I work for this.
So she's basically saying, yes, you can think I'm beautiful, etc., but please know that I have had work done and I paid for it and I wasn't born this way.
Exactly.
That's kind of Anita's thing, right?
It's which is very interesting for artists because we don't get this from artists.
Yes.
Like almost never. I don't think we have many examples of big artists so influential like her saying like, I got this work done and it's fine, go for it if you like, you know. So I think that's very interesting. And I think we discussed a bit how like celebrities and superstars or people with power at the end, they have an influence on people, even though we sometimes think like celebrities are just it's vanity or something really superficial, but actually they have a lot of power, especially young people and also like us at the end of the day, because you see them around all the time. So, you know, I wonder like, do you think like actually like celebrities or like people in this position of power, they actually they need to be held accountable in a way, or they have to have some type of responsibility with society? Do you think that's part of this should be part of their, let's say not
the deal, like
the
part
deal.
Of the deal
yeah, because when you have someone, especially now, like back in the day, if you were a singer, you just, you know, you watch the video on MTV, you listen to the album, and that's it. But nowadays, like celebrities are like, it's a whole thing. You idolize. It's more like just the art. It's a person.
And because you feel like you know them because of social media and everything like that. So it's a whole like package that they have.
Do you think that actually they need to like
come forward and say I've had work done,
or like they have some responsibility?
I think that it's really tricky. See it from different points of view. I would say initially I would probably say no. I think it's kind of unfair because, to be honest, if I was an artist, it's kind of about privacy in a way. Like
privacy.
If I wanted to do something with my body, why do I have to like defend it, kind of thing? And especially as a woman, I'm only doing that because of the ridiculous standards that society puts on women. And I think, you know, like, I think that celebrities, I understand, like, you know, social media is kind of a different thing, but I do think they do have a right to privacy as well.
If they don't want to. Yeah.
And I think it's very intimate and personal to kind of come forward and say, like, I have had cosmetic surgery. And I think it's probably completely personality based. Like, Anita strikes me as somebody who's extremely confident. Like, she, you know, she has her own kind of history. And maybe she's very, very comfortable saying, like, I've had surgery. But some people, it might carry a lot of shame for them. So why should they have to come forward and say that? On the flip side, I also think about, like, young girls on social media who are looking at, like, the Kardashians, for example, and they maybe, this is very extreme, but, like, say they might, like, develop an eating disorder or
but
get really down because they can't get, like, their bum as big as, like, Kim, for example. But, of course, like, that's been done from, like, a Brazilian butt lift. And I think about, like, the body dysmorphia that they're kind of... And these celebrities, you know, especially if you want to talk about the Kardashians, like, they have made their billion-dollar industry.
That's their brand
from that.
Actually. Yeah.
And so do they have a responsibility? I think it's a good question. What do you think?
It's interesting because, for example, the Kardashians, they made that. But I feel, maybe if it's a young person, it's a different story. But I think people our age, if you follow the Kardashian, you know this is not real. So actually what you want is to get how to have that body. Like what type of surgery I need to get to look like that. which is a different point of view as well. It's not like that's something I feel. I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel if you are our age and you look at Kim Kardashian and you're like, wow, she's so beautiful, I would like to be like her. You know it's surgery. Yes. So you will think about what type of surgery I need to get to look like that. And that as a different process, because it's not like, oh, I'm so ugly, I don't look like her, why my body is not like Kim Kardashian. It's more like, I want that body and I will get the surgery. Okay. So you know my point of view, but that's not everybody.
So what happens if you can't afford that surgery and you're 30?
That creates a new problem. But I think that's for some people, but maybe if you're younger, if you don't have that 360 view or like whole thing, you would say like, why my body's not natural like Kim Kardashian, for example. So I think it has different levels of it, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's weird because, I mean, they're celebrities, but they're humans like anybody else. So they have insecurities. You know, they're people that are really beautiful. Again, we always talk about Jamila Jamil and how crazy it is that this woman, I think she's incredibly beautiful skin, tall. I mean, whatever you think of a beautiful person, she is, but she doesn't feel like that because she has a lot of like body dysmorphia, eating disorders, blah, blah, blah. You think that's absurd, but that's how it is. It's not about... You can be Kim Kardashian and maybe she doesn't feel beautiful. And that's, you know what I mean? So I feel if we think they need to come forward and say what they've done, it can be, as you say, unfair because maybe they're doing it because they're really not comfortable with themselves. But yes.
It's hard. You know, one thing I was thinking about that I do have a problem with, it kind of links to this, but not really. And if I can find the video, it was a friend of mine, a personal trainer friend. She put this on. I don't know if I sent it to you. I think I did, but it was maybe like a TikTok or something. And she has like an incredible body, but she's worked for it. I don't know if she's had any surgeries, maybe but maybe not as well. You can just kind of tell. But she posted a video on her Instagram that was like a fitness influencer. And she was, you know, in a gym. I think she was selling some like workout gear or something. Okay. And the production team were putting a bum implant, clearly not like an actual bum implant,
you told me
but
something
like kind of like padding into her leggings.
So it looks,
and I find that really problematic. Somebody who works out a lot, and I will say definitely, like, I sometimes am like, I want a good bum, and it's hard to get a good bum. Yeah. Like, you have to work really, really hard, especially if you're quite slim. You need to try really, really hard. It takes a lot for me to get a toned bum. It's like, you don't want my problems. You do not want my problems, guys. It's like, how hard to get a toned bum.
And we're like, we don't care, Claire. Can we just...
But it is. It's hard. And that's
really
like...
fucked up.
Like... My friend was like saying like it was like a roll the eye emoji. Like, this is so bad. And in that case, I think it's really wrong.
From a personal trainer, that's a disaster. I think that's the worst thing. If you are a personal trainer, you're promoting that you can have the best version of yourself by working out, but then you're taking up photos and so they're padding your thing to look like a bigger ass. I think that's a disaster. And that's problematic.
But I bet that goes on a lot. I bet that goes on a lot more than we think, especially probably in the fitness industry.
Which
probably with influencers as well.
Of course,
because they're human.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay not to it's okay to have like a bloated day or to have a breakout and stuff, but that's not what they're selling. Yeah. And this is where this does become problematic.
I think it's such a difficult topic because at the end of the day, I understand that if you're an artist, whatever you are, like, it's like what Cardi B says sometimes. It's like, I don't do music for kids, so I don't have to like do PG music for little people because I do for little humans, little people. I can talk about my vagina if I want. It's my vagina, so I'll talk about it. But at the same time, I understand there's a little thing there that when you are so huge, everybody looks, especially when music, such an influential thing as music and actors. I understand at the same time, everybody has eyes on you, and in a way, you need to be aware of what you're projecting or what you are putting out there. It's a difficult...
I know what you're trying to say. I have to say I slightly disagree with you because why? like you say, like
also,
why? Like
I'm split. Yeah,
you know what?
okay,
I think maybe this is like different now because of social media. I would say in that situation, it's not Cardi B's responsibility. It's the little person's parents' responsibility to not let them listen. I get what you're saying.
It's so like true. Like
projecting what you. They have to be careful about what they're saying.
Because
for example,
I really agree with that. And for example, I think like if Cardi B can want to talk about sex every single day, she should do it. If you don't like it, you just turn it off. Yeah. But I understand also the other side.
I get what
when
you're saying.
You got such a big influence and you reach so many people, and then you have all these plastic surgery things, and you're projecting that this is the perfect way of living. I think depends on the celebrity. If it's a celebrity like the Kardashians, again, it's problematic because they're selling a lifestyle.
True.
And they're projecting like this is a way of living that it's good.
Yeah.
But the way of living has all this cosmetic and money. So that's complicated. But if you're just like a singer and you want to change your face, like, I got the money, I want to look different. What's the problem with it?
I know what you mean.
It's like
it's different with the Kardashians because it's exactly what you say. It's a lifestyle. It's a brand. If you just buy this, if you just get this from the Kardashian, then you'll look like this.
No
bullshit.
Never ever.
But you're right to say people our age hopefully will know bullshit. Okay, I can appreciate it, but clearly that's not going to happen unless I'm going to pay for my butt lift. But the problem is when it is younger people, and then I think they do have a responsibility.
But people more vulnerable. Yeah, because I think like our friends and people our age, I can talk to any of my friends and they will tell me straight away, I know that's fake. I know Kim Kardashian. And I have friends that think Kim Kardashian is the Kardashians are super pretty, super beautiful, but we know it's fake. And that's good because we're in that age and we're in that moment that we know that. But at the same time, that create problems, of course. That creates social problems. That create problems with the kids, with the generations, and maybe with people our age. Because
that we don't even realize.
Because sometimes we don't think we're not all the times. We're not looking at a photo of a model and saying like, "Oh, that's fake." We don't do that all the time. It's absurd to think that. And sometimes you get that into your head. It's like, oh, this beautiful person. Wow, what should I have to do to look like that? For example, and then it comes back this. I think it's a very difficult topic, but I feel
Can I
like
ask you something? Yeah. So.
You can't.
I want to ask you. Your time is done.
Like, time is done, and I don't care to talk about anything about it. Okay.
If you know that somebody has had plastic surgery, and you previously say it's not that obvious, for example, not for Kim, but somebody who could be quite natural, like say J-Lo, for example. But then you're like, oh, she's so beautiful. But then you find out she's had cosmetic surgery. Does that kill it for you slightly?
A bit. I think less right now because I feel like I'm more used to plastic surgery now and the social media, and I think it's normal. Like it's like, oh, of course it has.
But that's
surgery.
The thing in itself.
But it is. It kills me a bit because that's you, and that's when comes the responsibility because you idealize or you like think this person is so beautiful and you don't think about maybe there's different things why this person is beautiful. It's not natural, and if I know this, I will be like, oh, really? Well, but that's bad itself, I guess, because people they have the right to do whatever they want and look the way they want. Who am I to be like, oh, you're less? Well, completely. I guess because then we can go back. We can go to many other sides. Like whatever has a surgery is less value. It's not about that. That's the difficult thing about social media nowadays because I think we still don't know yet how to deal with this.
You're right. I
feel that we need to figure out these things because we are so exposed all the time, every single day, every single moment, and there's kind of like unwritten rules, and that we still don't know how to deal with them, and we still don't know how to, because we're not used to. I mean, as humans, normally you're not supposed to look at 10 million different people in a like nowadays we have the phone and you can see the face of like 50 different persons a day or more. As humans, we're not used to it. It's not reality. It's like point. How weird is you can just open your phone and be 1 hour on Instagram and look at 10, 100, 300 different accounts with 300 different faces. That's actually a lot of stimulation in ways.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and I think also because it's not that new, not that it's not that old. It's like not that new. It's not that old. So you're right. That we don't really know the effects of it yet.
Yeah. So interesting. I would like for you to like tell us what you think about it. If you think like actually they have the responsibility of tell it. I think I think it's definitely refreshing what happened, for example, with Anita. And I think it's so refreshing that she's everywhere saying, like, I have done this and I pay for this. So that's why I own it, because I work hard for this. So it's my face.
One thing I really like about Anita as well is that she's very, very open about her cellulite. And I think that cellulite is often like a very sore spot for a lot of women, I would say. I can't speak for all women, but, you know, me too. It's like I work out loads. I'm quite slim, but I have cellulite. I probably always will. And I think it's always that thing that women really hate. And she's literally like, I have cellulite. I'm like, she's like, I have cellulite, like I have air kind of thing. Like, and it's just like part of my body. And like, they never like on the videos, they never like Photoshop it out. Actually, like, they show it.
Display it.
That's really good.
So it's like interesting because she shows like what for society it's, how you say it?
Like acceptable, like.
You know, like she showed like, how pretty I am. I'm perfect because I pay for this, and this is I choose. And also I show the part of my body that for some people it's not right because it's natural. You know, so it's very like interesting.
But I feel like with her, she's really owning it, because everyone knows like there's always like these bullshit things of like cellulite cream, and it's like that thing that women always hate. So it's really cool that she's saying like, we have it, it's okay, like it's an okay thing. But very interesting juxtaposition that she has.
It's like
the perfect face, and then like the not separate ways. We can go round and round and round.
Anyway, Claire, so we're doing this little thing, as some of you may know, that we got 60 seconds to come to a conclusion or say something, or make like a kind of how do you say it, like
recap.
Recap is a funny word. Recap of the topic we just had. So, Claire.
Oh, God.
You're on the spot now. So, you got 60 seconds starting from now.
I think it was a very interesting discussion. And I think that this is something that I would say TBC, to be confirmed. And I will, you know, make up my mind about it more. I think that maybe it is kind of celebrity dependent on like what is it that you do. I still probably feel
Good
that
point.
I think it's cool if, for example, somebody like Anita wants to come forward and say, I have had surgery, great, good for you. But I probably won't believe that you should be obligated, because I do think that celebrities should have some privacy about their body
freedom of
speech,
of course.
Exactly, and we don't own their bodies or anything like that, so no one should own your body. So yeah, I think that's kind of...
You shouldn't lie, that's the thing. Lies are not okay. Exactly. Pretending like it's real something, that's a different story.
And I also think that it's kind of reminded me again, I've got 10 seconds that social media is kind of this ongoing evolving beast that we need to kind of, you know, make our minds up about, etc. So yeah, that's it really.
Boom! That was good recap of this interesting...
I don't know why I keep wanting to do that. It's so weird.
That was cool. Thank you, love, for your thoughts on it.
Love.
Yeah, it's interesting. For sure, we're gonna keep talking about this in the future, because it's always coming back, because it's part of our generation at the end of the day. It's part of our reality nowadays, like surgery, beauty, like enhancements. I'm like on Google, like enhancement. You're like the woman, like the crazy woman. And then slowly enhancement. You're like, okay.
What's enhancements in Spanish? Enhancement.
Actually,
you're
forgot.
Like, it's not.
No, we have a word very similar. Like, it's not. I forgot.
You're losing yourself.
I'm losing myself. My Spanish is gone. It's like Anyway.
It will come back to you.
It will come back to me.
Also, I was going to say, you know, who's to say that we won't have surgery one day? I'll always say never, you know.
I'm not like against it or opposed to it, so you never know. Maybe we'll look like, hi Claire, like 20 years.
Yeah, Enzo will be looking like this in 20 years, just like preserved, like some sauerkraut, like preserved.
At 50, I'm gonna look exactly like now. It's gonna be. I'm gonna show a video of the podcast when I'm 50 to that surgery. I want to look like this again.
Like Paul Rudd, you know. Oh my god, like whatever he
that's
is.
That's creepy.
I know.
Whatever cream he's putting on his face or whatever he's eating, I want some of that, because
amazing. In fact, I think he looks better now.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a surgery.
Oh, I don't think so.
Right? It doesn't look like... I think it's just genetics, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Living a good life. Maybe he drinks a lot of green juice. Now, speaking of, I think it might be time for Claire's secret topic of the week. Okay, well, this isn't actually a secret topic, so I don't want to deceive you, listeners. Enzo does know about this.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Enzo, you don't need to lie. You forgot what it was.
For a second, it was like, what we're talking about.
Let me get into it.
Worst house ever. I'm like, what we're talking about? What? What is woman talking about?
What's a podcast?
What is this? I know now. I'm present. I'm back. Okay.
So, I'll explain why we've kind of decided to talk about this. So I think I want to talk about veganism, vegetarianism, all of that kind of stuff, because I think pescatarianism, like raw vegan, etc. Because I think maybe we take for granted that everybody knows. True. We'll explain it a little bit why we thought that we would talk about this.
I think we had this chat before because I feel sometimes like I've been in different conversations, like people ask me, like, what does it mean to be vegetarian or what does it mean to be vegan? And I'm like, well, I'm explaining from my point of view because I'm not either of them, but I know a bit and I know you, of course, and I'm interested in the topic always, so I have an idea of it. But I find it's more common than we think, that people are confused about it, and actually maybe people our age, but not even. Also, like, I feel I know about this because back in the day when I was at the uni, I have a friend that she was like vegan and she was raw vegan for a time, so I was very in contact with that.
You knew it.
And also we were like kind of like in a artsy, kind of like edgy group of people.
Of course you were.
So there's just topics that are around on that, like the weirdos, basically. I'm joking.
Me too.
Like the weirdos, they talk about.
We
would
have been friends at school.
Probably.
We would have been doing like a million different art projects. No doubt, probably. But yeah.
So for me, it was kind of familiar, but I learned more about it along the way. But the thing is, I've been in this conversation with people being like, what does that even mean? What do they eat? Kind of thing. Like literally I've been asked that. If you're a vegetarian, what do you eat? Like how you get your food, how you get your nutrients. Yeah. It's actually like a question that's always coming across.
Like a genuine question, I think.
Question.
So
people have no idea.
Yeah. It will be a good idea to kind of just like address this and talk about this. And obviously, we put out a question on Instagram. So thank you to everybody who asked a question. Okay, so let's start by reading some definitions, just, because it's a good place to start. So a pescatarian is a person who does not eat meat but does eat fish. Okay. And I guess eggs as well, and dairy, know.
Obviously also your choice, right? You can be that's a question I think I will have, like you can be vegetarian but you don't have to eat everything. Like you can be vegetarian and not eat eggs, right? It's a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, completely. Okay. Vegetarian or vegetarianism is a practice of abstaining from the consumption of meat, red meat, poultry, seafood, and the flesh of any other animal. May also include abstention from byproducts of animal slaughter. So I guess like leather in that case.
I know vegetarian also interesting.
We'll get into it. Yeah. We'll get into it, don't you worry. And then a vegan. That's what I am.
You're a demon.
Veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet, and an associated philosophy that rejects the commodity status of animals. This is intense. Oh, I'm on the PETA website.
That's why. No wonder why.
An individual who follows a diet or philosophy is also known as a vegan. Then one more thing I did want to throw in was, because a lot of people ask me this.
Raw vegan.
What is a raw vegan? Raw veganism is a subset of veganism. Like veganism, it excludes all foods of animal origin. Then it adds the concept of raw foodism, which dictates that food should be eaten completely raw.
A specific temperature or something.
Basically, like lots of veggies and stuff like that.
So I think
that's the definition.
So for making for what I understand, so basically, if you are vegetarian, you eat things like a plant-based diet, but also you may eat eggs, milk. So basically, you don't kill an animal. You don't eat an animal that's being killed, but you eat the...
so a vegetarian will eat like dairy, for example. Dairy and eggs.
Perfect. Vegan, no at all.
Nothing from an animal.
Including like clothing, blah, 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 blah. You don't wear leather, honey, anything that comes from an animal.
Yes.
Pescatarian, they eat basically...
Same as a meat eater.
But just like fish.
Yes.
Okay. And raw vegans are the same as vegans, but they just don't eat anything like cooked
or anything
basically.
like that.
Okay.
So now we're all super, super clear on all the definitions.
Okay, cool.
Shall we get into our audience questions?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's see what they have to ask us.
Fine.
Those questions was through Instagram, by the way. So that's why we always say keep an eye on our Instagram account, because we always do little polls and things and ask you things. So
definitely.
It's where
it's really fun to interact with you guys daily.
So what do we have there in Instagram?
So I've got some questions. Do you feel like being a vegetarian is like being a bit of a hypocrite?
Ooh, that's a good question though. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Because, yeah.
Well,
What do you think? Like, yes, a bit.
No, I don't think that at all. But I have to say, probably right at the top, as you might have got this impression by now, is like, I'm not... I want to say, like, I'm not a militant vegan. Like, I'm a very, very strict vegan. Like, I've never, like, cracked, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I don't eat anything from an animal. Exactly. I'm completely like, you do you. This is my life. And, like, when people ask me, or, like, hopefully I can be, like, a positive influence on, like, my friends and family and, like, you know, you guys as well. But completely what you want to eat is your choice. But I would say with being a vegetarian, is it being a hypocrite? No, not at all, because I really think that, like, I always say, like, literally every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, like, if they feel very overwhelmed by veganism, just try like one. Try one thing a day. Like, you know, they had that whole campaign a while ago, like Meatless Monday. Of course, I do believe that the world would be better if we really cut our meat consumption to start with, definitely, because I know people probably aren't ready for like dairy or anything like that, but yeah, of course. But like, I think it's better to be like, let me do what I can do.
It's something than nothing.
Exactly.
I think something that is interesting, that it's maybe the reason why you do it, because I think for some people they do it for the environment, so that's a point. Some people they do it for the animals. So if you're doing it, if you're being vegetarian because you don't want any animal to suffer because of you, so then I think that's like, well, yeah, if you're drinking milk, you know, the milk industry, the dairy industry is a disaster, and the animals suffer like even more than you kill them, to be, I mean, you know what I mean, because they're suffering. It's a systematic kind of thing that it's really bad. So if you're doing it for the animals, I can be like,
I agree in that case.
But at the same time, it's not everything black and white. And at the end of the day, I mean, you make your choices, and if your choices in some way they're helping something, is always better than nothing, that you're saying. But I understand why people will be like, well, yeah, but you know,
but that's
but it's very extreme.
It's a thing. It's a very extreme kind of vegan. You know, and some raw vegans might say that I'm a hypocrite. I don't know why. I'm like perfect vegan.
But okay. I guess, but if you go there, it's like, you know,
we're all doing something wrong in some case, you know.
Like, so. We're having a podcast, so we have to buy this that made of plastic, so that's unsustainable in some way. So they will be like, oh well, if you care so much about the environment and everything, why you have a plastic thing? You know, it can go and on forever.
One thing I will say, if I can say, is slightly hypocritical. Okay. I don't want to like cause offence or anything, but I do think that people are quite hypocritical when they say they care about the environment, but they're not vegetarian or vegan. I do struggle with that. Okay. Not even about animals, but if people say like they're very like, I'm an environmentalist, or like I'm so like green, but they're not vegetarian or vegan. You eat like a cow. Do struggle with that. Yeah. That's one thing I'll say.
But that's fair enough. It makes sense.
A bit. But you know, you don't even really eat red meat or anything like that.
But you know,
and you don't ram it down people's throats how into the environment you are. It's just like something that is important.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like every single day like, hey, yeah, like green peas. Completely. Is no, you know, because that would be like, well, yeah.
True. Yeah.
What else we have on Instagram?
If I want to start reducing my meat consumption, what do you suggest as a first step? Really good question. Well, I would say learn to cook, because that would help a lot. I think, you know, when I went...
Why have I been so dramatic?
It's getting steamy.
No, that didn't come up well. I mean, like, cooking is really important, because, you know, you need to know how to cook. Those onions won't taste perfect if you don't know how to cook, you know? You need to go for it.
But yeah, I think, learn to cook. And make a list of foods that you do like, because I think one big issue with like you know, diets, I'm not keen to say like diets, but like a lifestyle change or whatever, or like say, you know, you have like an allergy or something like that. Don't think about all the foods that you're going to be losing. In this case, chicken, beef burgers, milkshakes or whatever. It's like the first things I could think of. I'm like, chicken nuggets.
Do you miss chicken nuggets though?
Not at all.
Because you never like them.
Not really.
The chicken nuggets are very shit, to be honest.
And you get
I can eat them, but they'll be like,
greasy.
Anyway, yeah.
make a list of all the foods that you'll be gaining. So like I like this is going to sound annoying, but like broccoli, I like tofu, I like pasta, you know, all these kind of things of like, I like all these things. Okay, yes, I may be losing, but it's like switching your mentality towards it.
And like learn how to prepare them in a different ways.
Completely.
Recipes, how to prepare, like, be creative. But that's a really good suggestion. Like,
thank you, love. I try.
Yeah, like, but yeah, like get in touch with the part of you that it's, because I think it's part of the journey is if you are cooking, that makes you be so much closer to the food as well you're preparing. So I think that's part of the process of change your lifestyle, because it's coming from you. And at the end of the day, I think we all need to know how to cook, you know?
Do you think every vegan should be concerned about the environment? Interesting question. Well, no.
Kind of connected to the other one.
Yeah, connected. Like, I don't necessarily think so, because I know a lot of vegans do it for health, don't they? I think personally, I have noticed with friends of mine who used to be vegan, so they were vegan, now they're not vegan. They were vegan for health reasons, and they didn't really felt
better, and then it's like
they felt better, and then they started eating meat again. And I'm not sure what the situation is now. But you know, for me, I think what I'm trying to say is, because I'm vegan for a bigger reason other than myself, that is of course a part of it.
Interesting.
But I am vegan because I care about animals and the environment. I think that keeps you vegan. I think it will keep me vegan for longer, because it's almost like a belief. I mean, it's not almost, it is a belief.
It is a belief.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It's not like something it's interesting, because I think as you say, you can't exclude people that they are being vegan for reasons like health, because something is specific
at all,
or because they have a goal to achieve or something like that. It's all valid, to be honest. But I guess if you're really like militant, like veganism, it can come across a bit harsh, I guess, because it's like, oh, you're being fake, or you're doing it because of trend or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're, doing it, it will always give something good back, right? It will also have a good impact in any, if it's for like a day, a week, a month, a year, for 5 years. So if you're doing it, if it's for a trend and then you stop, well, sad that you stop, but at least there's something that it makes you think about it, and that you try it, and at least it's like, and I also it can be so like extreme, I guess.
You've got to think like everybody does things for a different reason. Like my reason for being vegan would be different to Enzo's reason for being vegan, and that's okay. And like that's why I never want to ram my views down people's throats, because it's like everybody has a different relationship with food. It's very personal.
It's very personal.
Different health issues as well. Like, so it doesn't matter. So no, I don't think so. Good. And moving on to our final question. Being vegan, how do you avoid eating a lot of carbs and manage to eat something that fills you up? So this is a really common question, and I think it's a big thing that people think about when they first go vegan. So I have to say, I went vegan 6 years ago, and I was highly carby. Like, I mean, I love my carbs anyway. Like, I really do.
It was like bread, but sugar.
Yeah, a lot, completely. Yeah. Until I learned to cook. I mean, I could always
cook. Goes back to cook.
But yeah, I learned to cook. Cooking. Because at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, like, I can't cook vegan food. How is this going to work? And then you educate yourself. And then it becomes a lot easier to, see what's up. Also, I think I would say get to know your body. Like, some people need more protein than others. Some people need more carbs. Some people need more fat, depending on your lifestyle.
And it's about protein, to be honest. Like a can, this reminds me of the last episode, a can of like black beans, it has the same protein as a piece of red meat. If it's about that. But again, like if you just thinking about can of black beans and you want to put that on a plate, it doesn't work like that. You need to cook them. You need to chop maybe some onions, put some salt, have some seasonings. We get it. You're Latino. We know you love your black beans. Like black beans, agenda.
But it's true. I get
that's
you.
connected with the cooking
because
part.
You're not going to eat black beans, just plain black beans, because that's so boring. But you need to learn how to spice it up.
The truth is as well, what for people, if I don't like to cook at all because I think it's boring, I hate it, it's a waste of time, how can I be a vegan if I don't want to cook?
But I got you there, haven't I? I would say, well, of course, if you don't like cooking in general, that's not going to change if you go from a meat eater to being a vegan. So, but I would say you're probably in with a better shot of being a healthier fast food vegan, Because don't get it wrong, like you can completely be a fast food junk vegan. You can eat like white bread and vegan butter and Oreos, and you can be a vegan, but of course that's not going to give you like long-term health. But I think, you probably...
And I guess living in London, it's easier to be like, even if you want to be a shitty vegan, because there's 2,000 different restaurants, for example. You can have a takeaway every single night, or you can buy replacement at the supermarket.
Beyond Meat Burger, which is in like Lemon Tesco Express now, or like the
even cheaper versions.
Or, exactly. But one tip I would definitely give re the whole carb situation, because I love pasta, but what I started to do is to try and reduce my pasta consumption. Is I have like, I know you're not that crazy about it, but like lentil pasta or like chickpea pasta, and I don't think that this is just a London thing. I think you can get them in different places, and
sure.
you know, and you can order
it has
online.
Tons of protein as well.
Tons of protein.
If you are worried about the protein.
So I can't remember the last time I didn't eat like a protein kind of pasta, and they taste, I think they taste really good if you put it with
some
like
of them I like them most than others, but it's a good option to, if
and that fills you up a lot more. And as a final tip on that, I would also say make sure that you're getting a lot of fat. I don't think people think about healthy fat enough, especially if you're a woman. Not that it's not important for men, but it's super important for women. So make sure you're having like coconut oil, or like vegan cheese with coconut oil, or like avocado, nut butters, not expensive, but stuff like that, because I think fat really fills me up.
It's really important.
So that's because if not, yes, you will be eating like a ton of carbs.
Because for example, I guess if you're eating an animal, it's a bit easier because you can get the fat from if you're eating like a chicken with a skin or everything, you're like, no, please, let's not go there.
No, I'm just kidding.
The fat is there, so it's easier. So
completely.
Anyway, good point.
But it's a journey. As we always say, it's a journey. And I really, really struggled when I went vegan. I was miserable because I did not know what to make. It was super, super hard. And I think if I went vegan now, it's like a ton easier. Like it's so common to be vegan now,
and everybody's talking about it as we are
and
now,
Instagram
so
as well. Like there's so many different recipes and stuff. But to say like it did take a while. I never lie about that. Like I did have really bad cravings for cheese. Like my body was like, give me cheese. You have to go through a process of like getting rid of those, you're kind of detoxing from those things. But I think just stick with it. And if you have a strong, like we said, like a strong reason, my reason was I want to do this for the environment, you're never going to crack.
Like because final reason, I think final reason is important, whatever it is.
Yeah, and just go with it, and then, so that's about it, really.
Thank you for all this knowledge, Claire.
No, you're so welcome, Enzita. So, let's do our 60-second recap. Enzo has 60 seconds to tell us what he has learnt about this topic on vegetarianism, pescatarian, veganism, raw vegan. Go.
I think it's really important to whatever you can do to help a bit. So that's why if you reduce a bit your consumption of meat, it's fine. If you reduce all of it, it's fine. If you're vegan, it's fine. I think it's all about what we can do to make it a bit better. And I think that's why we're figuring out as humans. And I think it should be important to take out of the shame out of it and thinking like vegans are like demons, or like people that eat meat, they're fucking demons, because that happens as well. I feel that from some vegan vegetarian people that are like, you're disgusting for eating meat. That's also like a bad approach to it, because you are not really like helping the situation. And I think it's important to whatever you can do, even if it's small, better than nothing kind of thing. And I find really interesting the whole thing. I wonder sometimes, is it actually better to be a pescatarian to like a vegetarian? There's I think a conversation, because I think all the animals maybe all suffer the same, but that's something that I'm still like learning from it and trying to get like a conclusion. But do whatever you can do and it will be good. Go for it.
Thank you, love. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. No, thank you for bringing up this topic. I think it's like really cool. And I think a lot of people always have questions about it. I think it's important to talk about this, and also it's part of like our reality, and it's like it's a good topic on the day. Whatever you do is always positive around this.
Literally, anything helps, I think, at this point. And please don't be put off, like don't think, oh god, to save the environment I have to like be completely zero waste and like be vegan. Like no, just like do whatever you can, I think is the point. And
the more you do it, the best.
It's better that we all do something than we all do nothing because we think it's too big. So just small little steps, I think, will make a big difference.
I think, and I'm speaking for Claire, but if you have any questions about this topic, so you can go to Claire's and ask your questions. And definitely I think it's good to don't be ashamed to ask anything.
All. Yeah.
She's a nice human, as you can tell, so she will help you.
Thank you.
Don't ask me anything.
But I think that's everything for this week. So we hope you enjoyed.
Episode. It was a very upbeat day. So well done. So thank you guys. Hope to see you and hope you listen to us next week as well. And thank you for supporting us, following us, and I hope you like this episode. And have a good week as well.
We'll see how the benefit situation unfolds. Maybe there'll be a new
imagine kissing element. Each other. Wow, we are so into this. We're such a 2000 kids. We're Jennifer, and when people being okay,
get the velour tracksuit out. It's 2000.
Jesus Christ, no, please. But guys, see you next week. Thank you. Bye.